Happy Monday. I see Mark Mueller's here. Good morning. We are at Disney's Old Key West Resort, and I am in the cute little check-in lobby area. I don't think I've ever really been in here. It's super cute. Got these cute little chairs here. I'm obsessed with those. We're gonna go on a little stroll. And it's so quiet in here, so I want to get outside. All right. Hey, Lady Kirk. Good morning. It is a little bit chilly this morning. Hey, Captain Kirk. As you can see, the wind is blowing based on those flags. It is definitely a little chilly here in Orlando this morning, but very happy to be here. Hey, Ghost Host. Good morning. Hey, Gianna, my bestie, is in the chat. Hopefully we get to see a nice sunrise. It is a little cloudy, but I'm excited to go for a walk around this gorgeous resort and share some new stuff with you guys. We got Olivia's over here. If you haven't been to Disney's Old Key West, it is super cute, very quaint, fun little beachy vibes. I love coming to this resort. Hey, WDW Stream Finder. Yes, braving the wind and cold. Yes, it's a little bit brisk this morning, but it's okay. It'll be good. Once the sun comes up, I feel like it'll be a lot warmer, but we are supposed to be getting a cold front this week. I think tomorrow is actually supposed to be the coldest. But we'll see what happens. But yes, welcome. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So happy to have you regardless. We have these birds of paradise, beautiful flowers right here. Love them. Good morning. So we are going to talk about a new book that I just started reading. I took a look at the YouTube poll, and I also put it with my Instagram poll, and I came up with a book based on the results. But I have a 50-page rule, and if I'm not feeling it by 50 pages, I make a decision to move on to another book. I like this book so far. I'm open to where it could go, but I don't know. I wasn't leaning towards this book initially when I posted the books. This was like at the bottom of my list, but based on the YouTube poll and my Instagram poll, this book came in at the top of everybody's list. So we'll talk about some things that I've read so far, and I'm going to continue reading this week. And if for some reason I'm like, you know what, either this is repetitive because we've talked about it a lot recently, or I'm just not getting a lot out of it, we'll pivot and we'll take a look at Mastery of Self, which is something that I wanted to start reading again. But the book that we're going to talk about today is called Do Hard Things by Steve Magness, and the full title is in the description down below, so you can check that out. But again, I always give my books a 50-page rule, because typically by 50 pages, and this works a lot really with fiction books, but I'm finding with nonfiction as well, if by 50 pages you're not invested, you feel like the plot is going nowhere, or you're just not interested and you're just trying to push through, then I think that's a good time to pivot. But that's just my own little thing that I have. All right. But we are going to talk about that book today and walk around this gorgeous resort. Come on now. So I would like to take this moment to acknowledge you for starting out your day on a positive note, right? It's Monday, we're reflecting on the weekend, starting a new week at work or school or whatever. And you've decided to start your day out learning something new, maybe shifting perspective, or just, hanging out, having a cup of coffee with me and the rest of the chat. But I appreciate you for being here. Yep, WW Streamfinder says, just goes to show we can't judge a book by its cover. I like the idea of a 50-page rule. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's, for me, whenever I'm reading, especially a fiction book, and I get to the point of the book where I'm like, ooh, this is interesting, I'll take a note of like where I am in the book. And generally it's around page 50. So try that the next time you're reading a book. Duncan got on the Starbucks train with the cute little Christmassy cups. I like it. Duncan got on board, but let me take this sticker off so you can see the whole thing. But I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, had some time to reset, reflect, and get ready for your week ahead. Good morning, Kelsey. But like, look how cute that is. It's a little donut reading books to the munchkins. Oh my gosh. Love it. Anywho, let's get into it. All right, so in the introduction of this book, talks about how society has a very interesting view on what actually is like the act of being tough or presenting as a mentally tough or physically tough person, right? And Steve talks to us about the idea that masculinity is so ingrained in our concept of what toughness actually looks like. Hey, Christina. Christina's coming down to pop. That's so exciting. So again, like the idea of like toughness goes hand in hand with the idea of masculinity, having to do with like brute strength, a little bit of confidence, and some bravado. Like society tells us that's what it means to be tough, right? And hopefully, if you've been hanging out on my channel for some time, you know that that is really not the case, right? We've talked about toughness and mental toughness many, many times before. So hopefully to you, that's not a surprise, right? But that's what society is kind of presenting to us. He also talks about different types of like parenting styles, different types of like coaching styles. And I feel like back in the day when I was growing up, and maybe, prior to the 80s, right? People felt like authority figures should have this like power and control over whoever's beneath them. So whether it's like a parent or a coach or a teacher, right? And their intention behind that was to like toughen up the individual and to make them have like a tough exterior so they're able to deal with life. But he talks about how this is like obviously not the right way to go about doing this. And he also says that while those who display external signs of like that machoism are often the weakest people. And again, I feel like that shouldn't be a surprise to you, but that is what society kind of shows us. We see these things in like TV shows and commercials and movies and all the things, right? Like the macho guy. Ooh, he's so tough. That's like the symbol of what it means to be, tough or whatever. But that's not really the case, right? There's something that's hiding beneath the surface. And I loved this, so I was like, ooh, I'm definitely talking about this. Research consistently shows that women quietly handle pain better than their male counterparts. I mean, duh. I feel like that's pretty obvious. For example, childbirth. I don't know. Not that I've experienced that, but I just feel like women that are here watching, my early bird women, just think about your spouse, your partner, and when they get sick, when they have a man cold. All right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna talk about gender roles and bash either gender, but I wasn't surprised by that statement in the book. And research shows, okay? Just saying. So the definition of toughness in our society is broken, okay? And I thought that was an interesting way to begin the book. Again, he does talk about and get in depth with like going back to like how we're raised and, you know, the people that we surround ourselves with, the people in quote unquote power, right, that help to groom and shape us when we're young. That definition of what it means to be tough is not exactly correct. Oh my goodness, it is cold. There's a nice big breeze there. Lynette, I couldn't imagine Bill giving birth. Oh my goodness. Well, Bill, if you're watching this, I don't know. This is a conversation to have with Lynette. But you know what? We're designed differently. That's what makes the world go round. But I just thought that was an interesting mention in the book that I had to share. Oh, look, they have, this is cute. So in the goods food to go, they have little holiday things here. Gingerbread cake, caramel ganache filling, caramel crispy pearls, eggnog pastry cream, and white chocolate for $5.79. Wow. And then they have a candy cane latte, Joffrey's coffee with peppermint and milk, $5.99. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about Disney around the holidays, Christmas time. It's my favorite. I'm pretty much over Halloween at this point, since Halloween starts earlier and earlier every year. This year it started at the end of August, so like I'm pretty much over that. I'm ready for Christmas time, you know? Love all the holiday stuff. And hopefully, I was looking at the general store earlier, hopefully it'll be open towards the end of the stream so we can take a look at the holiday merch in there, because there's a lot of cute things that I saw through the window, just saying. So definitely stick around for that. But let's go tour the resort. We have a beautiful golf course here that we're coming up to. The running trail, I always talk about how like I need to go running around here and I don't. Oh my goodness, you could follow this trail. It's about 1.5 miles. But I'm sure you can kind of go off course and extend your run. But I like that they always have that at the resorts to show you like what their trails are and how long. Should have brought my hat and gloves this morning. I didn't think it would be this cold. So yeah, I was excited to get started with this book because again, I know I've talked about it before. I've done 75 hard twice. And with that program, you do build mental toughness. So I was like, okay, I want to see what this book has to say about the whole idea of being tough. And the title, Do Hard Things, right? Kind of waiting for that topic to be discussed, right? But I do believe, like, when we do hard things, when we put ourselves in situations that are meant to, you know, push us out of our comfort zones or challenge us, or when we face adversity, right? That's what builds your toughness, right? Because then you can look back and be like, wow, I cannot believe that I did this. I went through that. I survived it, right? And I'm a better person because of it. So, yeah. Oh, the wind. All right. Building toughness right now as I am, thank goodness I put on pants and a long sleeve shirt because I would be very, very cold. Good morning, Peaches. Can you believe it's November 10th? No, I cannot actually. It's wild. And I feel like the next couple of months are just going to fly by. Usually around the holidays, I just feel like everything happens back to back and there's a lot of things going on. So yeah, the rest of the year is really going to fly by for sure. All right, so back to the idea of toughness in this book, Do Hard Things. It says that we've prioritized external displays of toughness over true inner strength, right? We kind of glamorize the idea of like being tough. And it was so funny because I'm reading the book and it did give the example of like, you know, like in movies with The Rock and Vin Diesel. And I'm like, oh, you mean the two like celebrity crushes that I have? It's very funny. I was like, of course we would be talking about that. But I just have a thing for like muscular, bald men. It's just something for me. But anyway, they mentioned those two in the book and I'm like, I feel triggered. It's fine. But yes, true inner strength, right, means more than having that exterior shell, that mask of like, almost like bravado and, you know, having that idea of like, because I am bigger and stronger looking, I am tougher is not always the case. Okay, let me get on the sidewalk so I don't get run over. So, interestingly, he talks about how like when we try to toughen through callousness, right, or like those authoritative approaches or trainers that are very, you know, the trainers that yell at you or your parents that are, you know, have that authoritative style of parenting, we've kind of trained ourselves to respond to fear and power, okay? And he talks about how this really does take a negative toll on how we navigate through the world. Because if we are only responding to things when we are afraid, and when someone is in a place of power, that's not really the best way to build your character, right? And other things can kind of come from that, as far as like anxiety, depression, all the things. So I just thought that was interesting that, you know, because of these specific styles, that's why we're seeing more and more people, you know, kind of either becoming sheep and just following the pack because like they are driven by fear and somebody in power, or, you know, having a lot of mental health issues and dealing with anxiety and depression. And again, it's not really putting blame on people because that's just how things were done. But it's interesting and important to reflect on that and become aware of this as you navigate through your life. Because again, as I've said, the more aware you are of something, the easier it'll be to, you know, work through it, overcome it. And they also mentioned that the reason why we push through discomfort is because we imagine someone yelling at us, or if we fail, we face punishment. So I thought this was interesting, and I paused when I was reading this because I feel like I don't know if this is something that I really think about when I'm trying to push through my goals. I think I'm almost yelling at myself, but maybe that's, again, coming from those external pressures, right? So it's really getting clear on like why we do certain things and why sometimes we find ourselves like, I'm just going to get through this and I'm going to push through no matter what. Like thinking about, okay, what's the intention behind it? Or what am I afraid of? What consequence am I afraid of if I don't do this thing? So I thought that was interesting. So just being like mindful when you find yourself in those moments of, you know, pressure or when you feel like giving up, but you fight through, like think about why you're doing that. Like what's the intention behind it? And are you afraid of like someone yelling at you, right? That consequence, or if you do fail, that you're going to face some sort of punishment. I thought that was pretty interesting. So fake toughness is control-driven, developed through fear, fueled by insecurity, and based on appearance over substance. We got a runner. I like to go through these little paths. I'm pretty sure it's part of the golf course here, but why not just like take a little path? It's cute. And I would like to pause here and just say, if you haven't already hit that like button, please do. Let's get that karma, good karma coming back around. It also helps to improve the YouTube algorithm. It pushes the stream out to more and more people. We can spread that positivity so early in the morning. If you haven't already subscribed, I encourage you, hit the bell. Turn on all notifications and you'll be notified every time I go live. Sometimes I like to do a little surprise stream here and there. I honestly think tomorrow I might do a Disney Fit yoga stream because I think it's at 9. I gotta go back and check out my stream from last week. But at Saratoga, they do a 9 a.m. yoga right on the little area that overlooks Disney Springs. So I might do that. But you won't know unless you have the bell turned on. You know what I mean? So hop to it. Also, I want to take a minute and say a huge thank you to my Patreons. They really help to support the channel. They also get some fun little perks too. And if you're interested in finding out more about the Patreon program, you can go to learningwithlaw.com or patreon.com/learningwithlaw. Or you can even become a member on YouTube. You can check out those in the memberships tab. Very similar perks, very similar prices. But YouTube, I think, takes a bigger cut. So they might be just slightly different, but definitely take a look at the Patreon memberships. The sky looks really pretty so far. And with daylight savings, the sun is rising so much earlier. And I like it because I'm not walking in the dark, in the darkness. All right, so we talked about what fake toughness is. So what's real toughness? Real toughness is experiencing discomfort or distress, leaning in, paying attention, and creating space to take thoughtful action. All right, so when you're experiencing discomfort or distress, you're leaning into it. You're not avoiding it. You're not running away from it. You're paying attention and you're creating space to take thoughtful action. How should I proceed at this moment? It's also maintaining a clear head to be able to make the appropriate decision. Okay, so that's super important too, because if we are relying on or subconsciously reacting out of fear, that's going to hinder our decision-making process, right? Think about those times when you've been under a lot of pressure, or you feel like this is a really tough thing to navigate. Think about the decisions you made in those moments. Was it something that you did out of impulse, right? Or like you almost went into autopilot because this is something that maybe you fall back on when you're going through a difficult time, right? Or did you stop and really lean in, pay attention to what's happening, and try and make the best decision for yourself? I think this really connects with, sorry for the loud cast member working hard at work there. But I think this really connects back to what I've spoken about before with me and my newfound sobriety, because I think whenever I was having like a bad day at work, or I was really stressed, or just like wanting a reward after a long week teaching, right? I would go to happy hour, and that would just be how I would navigate through stress in those tough times, or like even a breakup, right? What would I do? I would go out with my friends and have a couple of drinks. And that would be the way that I would kind of navigate through those challenging times. But that is not an appropriate response for me anymore, right? I have to lean into those challenging times, right? Pay attention to my feelings and the things that I'm experiencing emotionally, and then try and figure out, okay, like, how am I going to move forward from this? What is my next rational step at this point? The sky looks so gorgeous, despite it being very windy and cold. So just something to think about, again, like when you're having a stressful day or you're having a moment where you're feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, lean into it. Get like up close and personal with those emotions and those feelings that you're having in that moment, and sit with it. Be present with it. Don't go to your first knee-jerk reaction or thing that you would typically do to deal with that, and just kind of see what comes up for you. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is a screenshot moment if I ever saw one. So toughness is navigating discomfort to make the best decision you can. Real toughness pushes us to work with our body and mind instead of against them. Again, I'll go back to the idea of like drinking alcohol, right? If I am doing that, I am impairing my mind, not doing great things for my body, right? And I'm kind of just like making the situation worse. It's not going to be a helpful thing. So getting real about that is super important. Okay. Got a little fountain here. We love it. Oh, somebody's coming behind me. Morning. It wouldn't be a morning stream without some sort of mowing or power washing or leaf blowing. This is it. This is it. We embrace it. We love it. And I also love this too. Like when we're facing the reality of the situation and what we can do about it, we're also using feedback as information to guide us, right? So I can't right now with the loud. Okay. All right. So that feedback could be like interactions with other people. It could be your emotions, whatever's coming up for you in that moment, right? It's giving you feedback. And use this feedback to guide you, right? Accept your emotions that you're having, accept the thoughts, and develop a flexible array of ways to respond to a challenge. Peaches, you can do hard things is my mantra. When I am running long distances, I keep reminding myself, I love that. Yes, Captain Kirk, the early morning sounds of Disney. Just really jolting these people awake that are right here. Lynette, getting real in the chat. My knee-jerk reaction is usually anger. I'm not sure that's productive. So I love that you brought that up, because a lot of people, a lot of mental health therapists will say, in not all cases, but most, anger is a secondary emotion, right? So when you have that moment of anger, try and be mindful and take a step back, okay? Because maybe there's an emotion that happened first that triggered that anger. Is it a feeling of sadness, loneliness, resentment, what is leading up to that anger? And sometimes it's just anger, right? Sometimes, like, that's okay. But a lot of the times it's an afterthought of emotion that you don't even realize there was something happening before that to trigger the anger. Because anger is definitely more loud and powerful, right? We sometimes don't understand that or feel that resentment or loneliness feeling because it's a little bit quieter, if that makes sense. So think about that the next time that you're like, feeling angry. Get clear. Is that really how you feel in the moment? Or is there something else? We have the egret back there. I'm really obsessed with the way this looks right now, but we have to keep walking. But it's just so beautiful. So gorge. Oh, these guys are golfing already. All right. Let's see. And I like this too. Oh, we're at par 4 right here. Yes, Lynette. I know. I have said that before. Yes. Have to be more mindful. It's okay. It's just something to look at, right? Just something to get present with in the moment. All right. And it's interesting, and this, I'm going to go on a little tangent, but it is relevant. So on the idea of like being present, I was talking to someone about this the other day, about how we really need to protect ourselves energetically from the people around us, right? Especially people that are empaths. And I feel like I'm pretty empathetic. Sometimes when we're around people that have a lot of like negative emotions, they might not be a full-blown negative person all the time, but we all have those friends that vent to you, right? And I always take it as a compliment, because then it's like, okay, people feel like they can trust me with their, oh my God, squirrels are going crazy. Sorry, that is alarming. Yeah. So when people are venting or going through a tough time or even like mourning a loss, right? It's important to, when you feel like, you're allowed to feel empathetic towards that person, but be present to how your emotions are responding to that person. And I've been trying to do that a lot more lately when friends have opened up to me about certain things. Because I'm a very loyal friend, and I feel like, when they're angry about something, I'm going to be angry too. And I want to make sure I'm showing them that like I'm on their side. But it's really important to like take a moment and step back and say, okay, this is what they are going through. I don't need to attach my emotions to whatever their perceived reality is. Because again, everything is about perception. There is no good or bad experience. It's just how you are seeing it. So I have really tried to be more mindful about getting present to my own emotions during that time. So someone is venting and I'm feeling like some type of way. I'm feeling my emotions start to bubble up. That's my sign to myself, like, okay, we could still be here for that person. Let's just take a moment though and understand that that's what they're feeling. I don't need to feel that same way. I can still be that person for them. I can still be there for them, but I don't need to get pulled down into that dark place either. Right? I just think that that's something to pay attention to. And I think I've done a good job at navigating that recently. So I wanted to share that win with you, and also to make you a little aware of that as well. Like, you have the power to do this, right? Just like Lynette, you have the power of, like, when you're feeling that anger, okay, take a minute, take a breath. Why am I feeling this way? Is there an underlying emotion? Because when you're able to identify that, then you can communicate that with the person that maybe you're angry with in the moment. Or if it's a situation, you can say, okay, I understand that maybe I'm not angry, but I'm feeling a little resentful. Why am I feeling this way? And just getting to the root of it. Because once we understand our emotions, it's easier to navigate life. All right, that's my tangent. Hope you enjoyed that. But yes, it was clarity that I had this week. So again, love sharing that with you guys. All right, then we get into the idea. Steve Magness talks about not bulldozing or pushing through, but navigating those challenging times. This was a little eye-opening for me because, like I said, I've been one to just like, no, I got to push through. I'm going to get it done no matter what. It just, even if I drag myself down, even if I'm not like feeling good in the moment, I'm just going to push through. And that might not always be the best course of action, right? So he talks about, and I love this little analogy, he says that we should utilize many tools in our toolbox, not just a hammer, right? We don't have to just hammer through or bulldoze through. We got some other tools that we've learned along the way. I'm gonna walk this way and kind of chase the sunrise over there. So I feel like analogies kind of help us to see things a little bit differently and also help us to remember things, right? So when you feel like maybe you're hammering away, pushing through something at work or, a challenging conversation with someone or whatever the case may be, instead of like hammering through, he talks about how maybe, yes, you have to go through something, or maybe you have to work around something, or maybe you have to go under something, right? There's like all different avenues. You don't have to just push through and force something if it's not meant to happen. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Vince. I got a super chat. You are amazing. He says, good morning, Lauren. Love your videos. Thank you for making mindfulness a bigger part of my life. You truly are an inspiration. Oh my gosh, don't make me cry. You're so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. So sweet. So yes, lost my train of thought by that very wonderful act of kindness. Appreciate you. Oh yes, hammering through, pushing through. We're not bulldozing, we're navigating, right? We have other tools in our tool chest. And I hope that by watching my streams, if you're a veteran to my channel, I hope that I've given you some tools to use as you're navigating those challenging situations in your life. I have no idea where I am, but it looks like I'm coming up to a place that I'm not supposed to be. Surrey bikes prohibited beyond this point. You're not allowed to fish. Okay. Can I walk this way? This looks really cool. Oh yeah, so this is part of the golf course here. You got a little creek. Love that. I don't know. I'm just going to go this way. I see Disney Springs in the distance. I see the beautiful sun. Gorgeous. Look at that. Captain Kirk, I have to remember I have a bucket of tools. Sometimes I grab the sledgehammer first when I only needed a small finishing hammer. Yes, so true. So true. Oh, Saratoga Springs Nature Path closed dusk to dawn. This is a walking trail. Let's do it. I don't know where it's going to take me, but we're doing it, guys. I found it. Let's walk. Let's see if we see any wildlife. That makes me excited. Just not the squirrels. Please, not the squirrels. Got some golfers over there. Yeah, this is really cute. We like it. Something else I was going to share, but I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that really opened my eyes, honestly, because again, I'm the type of person that's like, no, push through, got to do it. All right, and just being more mindful and being more like gentle with yourself is important. Good morning. Oh yes, this is what I was going to talk about. So I kind of was mentioning or alluding to the word flow, right? Not forcing things, not hammering things that don't need to be hammered. I'm excited for the one word stream that I'm going to do. I'm thinking I'm going to start it in the beginning of December. Like the first Monday in December, I think, is when we'll do that, because honestly, we got to get started on figuring out our one words. So I am going to, I can't believe it's November 10th. So in a few weeks, we'll do a one word stream. My friend Kaylee said she wanted to join on that stream, so we might have a little guest appearance. I'll figure out which resort we're going to do, but I'm excited for that because I want to figure out my one word, and it might have something to do with like flow, release, surrender, or joy. Those are like the words swirling in my head right now. So, but I really like flow because I feel like this year was a pretty challenging year. I'm not gonna lie. I came into it with like high hopes, like, yes, we're gonna do all the things. We're gonna be super happy. No waves will be made. But of course, like life happens. Things happen that you don't plan for. So I have learned to now like not force things. I want to go with the flow. I want to just like surrender and just see and trust in the universe that it will provide the right path for me. Okay? Like I feel like I'm very confident in who I am as a person now more than ever. I trust myself. I trust my intuition. And I feel like that's the perfect time to just let go of all the control that I have like clutched to my entire life and just like let things be, right? And like if you're going through a tough time, like you're going to deal with it as that time comes into your life. But like to hold on, to anticipate negativity or to like try and control everything because you're afraid of what might actually happen is such a harsh way to live. So those are the words that were kind of like swirling in my mind. So I wanted to share that with you. But I'm also really excited for that one word stream that I'm going to do. Okay. Lots happening here. Oh no, Lynette, I'm going to end up at Saratoga Springs. I don't really want that to happen because my car is over here. Oh no, Vincent, I got lost in that exact spot 2 years ago. No, I don't need that. Well, there's a bridge and I get excited about bridges, so I'm going to see what's happening there and then I might have to turn around. I don't know. This guy's coming in hot. Okay. I like this trail though. I didn't know this existed. And it's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what this bridge is all about here. You know, I love a good bridge, right? We're taking a transformation from one side to the other. When you walk across a bridge, think about things that you're just gonna leave on one side of the bridge. Things that you're going to pick up once you get to the other side. I love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's the Saratoga Springs Nature Path. Okay. What do I do? Vince, tell me, when you got lost, what happens? I think I might have to go over here. I I too was staying at Old Key West, and all of a sudden, what the heck? I'm at Saratoga Springs. Do better than me. Oh no. Captain Kirk, no, I'm not going to follow the water to the ocean. That would be quite the stream and a very, very long walk. But this bridge. No, I'm really obsessed with it. Oh. Come on now. If you haven't hit that like button, now is the time. My extreme excitement for a bridge. It's the little things in life, people. All right. Well, let's see what happens. I feel like, but the golf course is attached to Old Key West. So I can't be going that out of the way, right? I don't know. Hey, Glenn Ritchie. You're a late riser today? It's still early. 7:21. I mean, I guess that would be late for me, technically, but... Yes. Oh, my goodness. So if you missed last week's stream, we found some otters at Saratoga Springs. Like 3 of them. I think it was like 3 or 4 of them. Super cool. So if you missed that, definitely go back to the stream from last week. Check that out. That was the coolest thing. Never seen them like out in the wild before. We made some jokes that they escaped from Animal Kingdom. But super cool to like see them on the shore, and then they like hopped in the water. I loved it. Yeah, see, I'm seeing Key West. We're doing the right thing. I think if I continue down that path, though, I would make it to Saratoga. That's cool, but that's good to know. Good to know. Ooh. Look at these pretty trees. What is this? Oh, it's just the leaves that are dying. It looks really pretty. Is this the only like fall leaf change we get here? I don't know. All right, so going back to the idea of real toughness. Steve talks about the 4 pillars of real toughness, and these are going to be explored throughout the book. But he did just list off the 4 pillars. So we have ditch the facade and embrace reality. Number 2, listen to your body. Number 3, respond instead of react. Love the sound of that already. And number 4, transcend discomfort. And those are the topics that will be discussed in the book. Like I said, I'm going to give it 50 pages. Probably going to jump to the Master of Self after this book. But if I'm not a fan by 50 pages, we'll jump to the Master of Self a little bit earlier. But I like the ideas that are being presented. I think, there's much knowledge to be gained there, which is great. But I'm just hoping it's not as repetitive as I think it might be. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But I also wanted to take a moment to talk about my 90-day transformation program. Okay? Some of you have heard me talk about this on the previous stream, but this is a 3-month personalized coaching experience designed to reset your mindset, refocus your priorities, and build the life that actually feels aligned with who you are and who you're becoming. Okay, so for those that don't know, I do private life coaching. I also do group coaching that if you're a Patreon, you've been on those group coaching calls. They're fun. They're enlightening. But if you want that deeper work, right? If you're feeling like I'm hearing all the things that you're saying on the stream, but I don't know how to apply them, I want some, deeper work to be done. Oh, I don't know where this guy's going. Then you can fill out, there is an interest form in the description. It's also linked in the chat as well. But you'll get real coaching, real accountability, and real transformation, right? That's what we want. You'll walk away with unshakable clarity about what you want and don't want in your life, and the confidence to make bold decisions. I'm so excited to announce that I literally have one spot left. I want to keep my clients small this time around for this challenge, because there is a lot that I put into this program, and it's not a one size fits all. I'm not giving everybody the same exact coaching sessions. It's going to be tailored to fit you. So, that takes a little work on my part. So I want to make sure that I am really investing my time in my people that I have. Okay. So if this is something you're interested in, you want to find out more information, definitely fill out the interest form. I'll get back to you. We only have one spot left, and I'm going to close it out at the end of this month, because I do want you to be able to show up to 2026 feeling like, okay, I'm ahead of the game. Everybody's making their New Year's resolutions, and I feel like I'm in a better spot than the people around me, right? So we're ending this year strong. We're not forgetting about goals that you set in the beginning of the year, right? We want to make sure we're finishing strong. It's so important, especially with the holidays coming up. And we're going to be seeing lots of family, and maybe this is like what you really need, right? We can kind of get some breakthroughs in family and relationships and things like that. So again, if this is something that's interesting to you, you want to find out more. Ooh, bird just flew over my head. Definitely fill out the interest form in the description below, and it's also linked in the live chat as well. Hey Jacob, can I ask a question? Yes, if there are characters, I will show you, but honestly, I haven't seen any in the morning. But you never know. You never know. I will keep an eye out. If I see any, I will absolutely put them on the channel. But like I said earlier, I am going to be going tomorrow to Saratoga Springs. They have a Disney Fit Yoga. So that's around 9 a.m. I'm pretty sure. I just have to double check. And sometimes there's characters out around that time. So if you want to make sure you're subscribed, you can watch that stream tomorrow, see if we spot any characters. Yes, they do. That is a good point. They do pop up randomly at the resorts, that's for sure. All right. So we're going to come down here. There's another bridge. Let's see where this takes me. But beautiful little trail. Beautiful, beautiful. And we have these vibrant leaves over here in this little bush. Love it. A little info about my personal life. On Friday, super pumped. I'm going to be heading up to Savannah, Georgia, and I'm going to be running a half marathon on Saturday. So this is like my half marathon era. As you know, I was in Long Island, what was it, a couple weeks ago, less than a month ago. I was running the half there, and now I'm going to be in Savannah running another half. So excited. Savannah is probably my favorite city. It's so quaint, it's cute, it's fun, and hopefully they decorate it for Christmas. So I'm going to try and take some videos and stuff doing that. I still have to put together the short from my Long Island half. I'm slacking on that. I got to do it. But maybe I'll put together like a video with all of it. Oh, okay. I know where we are. They're doing a lot of construction here at Old Key West. So the entrance is moved to like where the exit is. So that was a little strange. Hopefully like I can get out this way later. I don't know. But yeah, they're doing a lot of construction here. But look at this. Look at this scene. I did not see any characters yet this trip, but we're gonna come back to the lobby. Hopefully the shop is open so we can see some Christmas merch. That would be nice. But they do a really nice job at, landscaping here. I just love all the foliage, all the plants. I'm shocked we didn't see any other wildlife. Saw some birds, but Not too much. I think it's a little noisy this morning, so maybe that's why. Let's cross over and not get killed. All right. And hopefully, oh, thank you. Hopefully the weather warms up today, but I know tomorrow it's gonna be so cold. So my fellow Floridians, bundle up. It's a little chilly out there. The sky looks so pretty with the clouds. But yes, I'd love to acknowledge all of you for being here, hanging out with me this morning, listening to my little rants, my tangents that I went on. But I really acknowledge you for starting your day out on a positive note, for potentially adapting a new way of thinking, learning something new, questioning past beliefs. Give yourself a pat on the back. We're coming up to the lobby now. I want to see, again, if that shop is open, see if there's any characters, anything like that. And like I said, if you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you are, because tomorrow might be a fun little pop-up stream with some Disney Fit yoga. Definitely was not a quiet stream this morning. I apologize for all the all the noises. Can't do anything about that. Cast members hard at work. We appreciate them. You too, Christina. Hey, Nemo with the glasses. Good morning. Oh, it opens at 8 a.m. Darn. Well, we can take a look from behind the glass. They do have some Christmas spirit jerseys and things like that. Let's see. Let me go by this window. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I actually really like this. That's super cute with the gold trim around the Walt Disney. There's a t-shirt. Love that. And then this little spirit jersey here. So cute. I like that. I'm a fan. Stephen Noon, good morning. Currently feels like 13 degrees in the Chicago burbs with snow. I'll take Florida cold. Yes, wow. I'm here complaining about a little wind and it dipped below 70. But that is very cold. So sending you all the positive and warm vibes. Sorry about that. Yeah. Florida cold is like a wet cold though. Yesterday morning, there was like, I did a sunrise yoga in celebration, and my mat was like wet when I was down. It's just like a wet cold. There's like humidity, so it's just a different type of cold. But yeah, I don't want snow, so good luck to you. Bundle up. Ooh. We got a bird in there. All right. Well, people, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And I really want to thank you for being here. If you haven't already hit that like button, please do. It helps to push out the stream to more and more people so they can also learn something new on this beautiful day, this beautiful Monday. If you haven't already subscribed, please do hit the bell for all notifications so you'll be notified every time I go live. Thank you to my Patreons. Love you all. I'm going to come up with a date for this month's 30-minute group coaching call I want to try and do it on a Monday, but this month it has been so crazy, so it might be another day of the week. I'm going to let you know. I'll post it on the Patreon page. If you want to know more about becoming a Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/learningwithlaw or learningwithlaw.com. What else? You can follow me on Instagram, learningwithlaw55. Let's see what else. Oh, Christina has the elves. Oh boy, the elves are coming out. Captain Kirk, thank you, Lauren. Always such an inspiration and informative stream. Have a wonderful week, everyone. You too. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you for being here. But yes, let's turn it around now so we're not looking at me with my hair in my face. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. And just remember, you are meant to be here, right? The universe is putting you exactly where you need to be today. If you weren't here, you weren't supposed to be here, right? You're here for a reason. You have a purpose. Even if you don't know what that purpose is yet, be grateful that you're here, because I'm grateful that you're here. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next Monday live at 6:35. Bye-bye.